Hey, kiddies. This is a crick keeper. Well, not really. I'm just a friend of his. This is Boys and Ghouls Film Podcast. And we have an interesting movie for you tonight. Today. Whatever. It's Puppet Master. It's a 1989 horror movie with puppets. Just like me.
Thank you, John Kiss here, or I should say Mike. This is Sarah Stephenson from Boys and Ghouls Film Review podcast. Mike has missed some of the words from it.
Well, I borrowed a couple of
And
things.
another correction I should bring up is that we're not just reviewing just one of the Puppet Master movies. We're just going to touch on to say several of them.
Well, we're going to review the main one and refer to some of the others, and
Yeah.
maybe do another one later.
Yeah.
But tonight we're mainly
Yeah.
doing the first movie.
Yeah, but we'll bring up the others because they do have a bit of interesting things there. They're mostly a mixture of sequels
And
as well as
prequels
prequels.
and side stories
and
and-
spin-offs and remakes
Blah blah blah.
and reboots. And I won't. We'll bring up the latest one that came out just in year 2018 called the Puppet Master, the Last Right, or is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We watched it the other night. Not totally
really.
impressed with it. But
It kind of
we might mention it later. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into what we're doing
Yes.
as we do it all the other times.
Okay,
Aha.
so we're going to review the first one, but we'll mention
You said that already.
the other ones as well in passing
you
too.
Said that already.
So let's start with who directs it, who writes it, and who stars in the first
yada,
one.
Yada yada. Right. Okay. Hey, Puppet Master, 1989, the first movie. It might not be the same for all the movies.
No.
It was produced by Charles Band and Hope Perello. Now, I think Charles Band has something to do with Full Moon Productions, who
Yeah,
actually
Full Moon
distribute
features.
features. Yeah. So he actually is a producer of this, and he also is a distributor, and he's been involved in lots of other movies too, I believe. Anyway, moving right along, directed by David Schmoller, I think is the correct pronunciation of his name. Now, interesting, it was written by Kenneth Hall and David Schmoller, but David Schmoller is credited as Joseph Collodi, so for some silly reason, I do not know. Anyway, this is the first movie in the Puppet Master franchise, as we said before. We will talk about this one and also allude to some of the other ones as we go through it. I gather, is that your general idea, is it?
Exactly so, because
Okay.
as I said before, this franchise is a lot longer than our current
I think
previous
it's about
ones.
10 movies so far?
Yeah,
10?
10 or
10
11.
10 or 11, yeah. There's quite a few, and actually, I do like them. It's like the Saw franchise. They get you in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Except for these ones, they, as I said before, they deal with prequels and sequels, and
Cycles.
sometimes they don't necessarily, they kind of don't really pin onto one another. Some of them,
Yeah. Some of them stand alone, so you don't need to see the
Yeah.
other ones.
Yeah,
It's like Star Wars has a continuing theme going through it, so
Yeah.
it's good to see all of them.
Yeah.
But with these, you can see a standalone
yeah,
movie.
it's just like when you look at the Halloween or the Friday the 13th movie. I mean, some of them don't necessarily click to one another, but sometimes they do for necessary reasons.
Yeah, they refer back to something, but you don't really need it. Some are alternate storylines, aren't they?
Exactly so.
Anyway, I'll go for the cast, but another reason, see, the cast changes a lot in these two. So, anyway, so the cast in this first movie. Now, William Hickey plays Andre Toulon, who is the Puppet Master, like the original Puppet Master guy, who actually started the whole thing off. But then it actually shows up in prequels and sequels later on. Now, William Hickey, he's been in lots of things. Like he was in The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery. I think he's in some Creepshow movies and some other things. He gets around. Yeah. So he's an interesting character actor, I'd say. A good way to put it.
I would say so.
Interesting. Now, Paul Lamont, He plays Alex Whitaker. He's one of the psychic guys who goes. Well, we'll discuss the movie later on. He's a psychic guy, a good guy. Anyway, Irene Miracle. She plays another psychic called Dana Hadley. Now, Jimmy Skaggs. I think I've seen his name in other places. I can't remember. He plays Neil Gallagher. He's a mean psychic guy who's now the puppet master. He took over from the old puppet master who's been dead for years.
Yeah, an interesting thing about the puppet master is that the puppets in this movie, they take on the reflect
The
or
owner.
mirror the owner's desires and wants.
Yeah, so if the owner's a good guy who wants to do world peace, something like that, these guys are really nice guys. If you go to be a vigilante, say, they will be vigilantes. If you're going to be mean and horrible and nasty, they'll become mean and horrible and nasty.
Yeah,
So,
and if you somehow offend them or be rude to
they
them,
might actually
they'll
break
bite
the deal.
back at
They'll
you.
break the deal and get back at you. So
Yeah.
what goes around comes around. Hey, folks.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along, Neil Gallagher, the main guy. Yeah, we'll talk about him later. Now, Robin Freites. I know that name from somewhere too. I think I don't know. She plays Megan Gallagher. That's Neil Gallagher's wife, who he sort of married just to get access on her motel where he's looking for these puppets.
Yes.
Anyway, that'll come out later on in the story. Matt Rowe, he plays another psychic, and Catherine O'Reilly plays another psychic as well.
Yeah,
They all
and-
come to this motel because this is Jimmy Skaggs' character, Neil Gallagher, has summoned them there. When they all get there, he's dead, supposedly.
This is like one of those, another murder mystery or a mystery that results in the person's death, and at the same time you try to figure out who's going around killing people.
Yeah. So actually, this is a good example of what I keep talking to Sarah about and other people. If you're going to do a horror movie, it can't be just jump scare without a good storyline, a bit of sense of mystery, suspense, whatever, thriller.
Yeah,
You can't, if you just do jump scares and no storyline, like some of the new movies are, I'm not rubbishing, don't get me wrong, but you got to focus on the full package, not just, hey, I'm going to scare somebody.
Yeah, I mean the whole point of this, in most scare tactics, it starts off in the first movie as a bit of it's like who done it or a mystery, and it leaves your audience wondering who's doing these murders.
And you draw them into the picture by having the sense of mystery and suspense and everything. Not, oh look, there's another person being killed. Oh, you get, what's the word? What's the word? You get conditioned to expect it, and in the end, it takes away from the movie. I've got 20 people here, one's going to survive, so we're going to have 19 deaths in an hour and a half, and you're just waiting for it all to pop off. So this is not like that. It's good. People do die, don't get me wrong, but you don't expect them to die. So it's good, You had a reasonably good storyline.
Yeah,
Anyway.
in this case, half the people who do die in this the first one, I kind of glad they do get
They weren't
killed
very
off.
nice people, They were,
They were nasty, obnoxious, slightly mean type people.
Yeah, and the ones who survived were the nice guys.
Yeah, the people
not
who
to-
want to try to solve this mystery.
And are generally nice people. Anyway, do you want to tell them the story now?
Yes, so the story begins back in, say, either...
1939.
Yeah, 1939, and this is around the time probably World War One or World War Two. Well, probably World War Two was
between
around.
the wars, eh?
Yeah. So anyway, Andrew Trulong, a puppet master, he's awaiting some evil Germans coming to this hotel he's staying at in America, I think. Or I think it's America or Swiss.
I think it's supposed to be America.
Yes. So anyway, his favorite puppet, Blade, is keeping watch over the motel to see if they're coming, which he does, and he scuttles across the room.
Scuttle.
Yeah, and all the time, no one is noticing him scuttling around.
One lady does eventually. Yeah, when he gets
I think that last night when we were watching it, Mike brought up something interesting, that while everyone doesn't really pay attention to the puppets on the floor, we have wide vision, and we probably would notice everything.
I have got good peripheral vision.
Yes, and we would normally see the floor and probably the ceiling and the movement. and stuff.
Like I'm sitting here right now at my little desk here with my computer in front of me, and out of the corner of my eye I can see my other computer and Sarah and the gecko on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Without even looking at them.
yeah, it's like we have wide vision, so it's practically, it's not really.
I'm a chameleon.
Yeah.
All right.
But then again, it doesn't matter. Still it's a movie.
Carry on.
So Blade, my favorite puppet, he heads back to Trulong's room, and Trulong is about to put his favorite puppets into a special puppet chest.
Yes, like an old steamer chest.
Yes, he puts it in and puts it into a special, hidden wall where he hides it in, and it has a hidden door, so to prevent the anyone finding access
There's
to
a
it.
hidden panel in the wall moulding. So yeah, so he put them in there and put the panel back in.
And he
so
promised them to look after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, along with
Who
some
got
other.
them out?
That's a big mystery.
The guy. Yeah, we'll
So
find out.
anyway, he puts them into the secret hidey hole, and he takes out a gun and he shoots himself.
Just before the Nazis get him.
Yes. Now we fast forward to say a few more years, probably now, maybe considering.
Well, whatever year it is now.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Probably,
actually, here it says 1989.
so we're
That's when the movie was made.
right.
Ah.
So anyway, we kind of arrive at the so our four people, they all get a vision of dear old of a colleague of theirs who found the secret to reanimating supposedly someone's body alive, sort of. And of course they found it and find out that they traveled to this place where it's at the motel, and they find out their associate or colleague is dead. He shot himself. And they meet the widow of Miss Maggie. Well, I'll say
Maggie?
not Maggie. Megan, or is it Megan?
Oh, look, Megan.
Megan. So they met her, and some of the guys act all snotty and say that her husband was out to get something from her.
Yeah, that's right. He's supposed to be lying there dead, and they're paying the last respects, and they're slagging off and saying he's not a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Hey, like one would,
Yeah, like if you were going to a funeral and somehow you expect to get something out of the will, and the people who are there acting all snotty and disrespectful end up getting nothing.
Bit rude.
Yeah, anyway, they then kind of make no secret in this movie that Gallagher is not a nice man.
And he proves later on that he isn't a nice man.
Yeah, one of them had a vision of him assaulting a woman in an elevator.
Was that the lady?
Yeah, another.
Yeah, the psychic lady. Yeah.
Well, no, not her. Assault. Yeah, it was one of
She was in there for other psychic man
Yeah.
she works with, and she was getting the feeling that
Yeah.
something bad happened in the elevator.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't know if this is between the time when he was married to to his wife at the time.
Probably.
Or I like to think that he might have been screwing around while all this is happening. I like to think.
Can you say screwing around the podcast? Probably.
yeah.
Hope so.
I like to think that was what was happening behind the scenes. He says that he was spending all this time at the hotel renovating it, and he may have been bringing up lady friends while this is happening.
Possibly.
My theory, anyway.
Well, that was a rape scene. I don't think it was a lady friend.
Lady friend or whatever. So
He got into someone's pants anyway.
Obviously.
Yeah.
anyway, the only other person who's been a little bit more sympathetic is, of course, let me see, would be Alex, the guy who's a good psychic, and he dreams. He kind of predicts the future in his dreams, and he kind of has.
How if he gets a lot of results?
Maybe.
That'd be nice. That'd be
But
really rich.
anyway, he wants to stop whatever's going to happen to the guy's widow, Gallagher's widow, but he feels like he's fighting a losing battle because everyone starts dying around him.
quickly.
Yeah, at first you think that the first two were they were just having what going on.
Yeehaw! Riding the baloney pony, I believe it's a good expression. But
Quite right.
riding the Harry Potter stick,
And,
like a stick? No,
and of course, one of the other ladies who was a bit of a witch. I mean it, she's a witch.
She's a witch. A real witch.
Yes.
Hey, there's a new movie out called Real Witches, I think. That's right.
And
that.
apart from her being a witch, she was a real bitch.
The witch is a bitch. Hey, rhymes.
Anyway, she's not a really nice person, and she's one of the many people in this who doesn't really keep it to herself.
No, she's really just a nasty beast.
Yeah.
But she's fair. She's mean, but she's fair. She's a bitch to everybody.
Yes. Even to Mrs. Gallagher's
the
White Widow.
Yeah.
She was.
Your husband's a sleaze bag. Blah 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 blah. That's what you really need.
And we're there to give to because he screwed us over for gosh knows reasons.
Yeah. And she just takes the piss out of the dead guy. No, that's not very nice.
Yes. Eventually, while all this is happening, the puppets somehow come to life and start attacking some of the psychics. First, it was a couple. Just so you know that they're the couple who also work together. Also, are probably
having a relationship.
Yeah.
They are romantically or at least physically involved.
Yeah. Yuck.
Well, it could be part of the job too.
Anyway,
it could be good. Benefits.
Yeah. So anyway, the next one on our chopping block is the lady, the witch, who gets killed off in the elevator. Also. She gets killed by.
She gets attacked in various places. End up in the elevator.
She gets attacked by both Blade and Pinhead.
It wasn't another one in front. No, that's like somebody else. Yeah.
Anyway,
at least two of them got to her, and
she practically got really brutalized. Even
really.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, meanwhile, Alex and Mrs. Gallagher they soon find sort of the Trulong's bag, the bag that he had all the puppets in it, and a diary that indicates all the details about Trulong and the fact he reanimated puppets and how
to do it.
Yes, and how if in the wrong hands, the puppets could be an evil force for evil. Anyway, they soon enough during this scene, Alex gets a bit of a premonition of some of the people downstairs having a bit of
not having a good time of it.
Yeah, and he soon finds them, and they soon find out that Mr. Gallagher has in fact reanimated himself.
Yeah, so I've got a question.
Go on.
Who reanimated him? Puppets?
Don't know. It's an interesting question.
And that was a great part of this movie. Yeah, he got reanimated, but you got to be dead to be reanimated.
Yeah.
Once you're dead on the floor, you can't get up and reanimate yourself.
Yeah. Bear in mind, he did mention in this scene that he also tried, he kind of tried experiment on his wife's deceased parents.
But which didn't work, and that'd be dead for quite some time.
Or something like that.
Yes, so
and
they couldn't have been helping.
And that's one of the reasons why he married her, so he can get access to the property.
Yeah, so he can go for all the rooms looking for Toulon's puppets. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says that he's sick and tired of working on the puppets, and he wants to
start working on human beings.
Yeah,
to
meaning
kill them and reanimate them.
Yes, but the puppets don't take this lying down.
They didn't like that. How rude!
They then start attacking Gallagher, and they soon enough have him in an awkward situation, and where all the puppets start attacking him and start draining him of the fluid that
he got this little greeny fluid inside him that helps reanimate him. Yeah.
Yeah. And
hey, you reanimated. That's a movie we can do, hey?
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Soon enough, he dies, and we're left. And the next morning, Alex is heading off to the airport or whatever, and Mrs. Gallagher is left behind with a sort of taxidermy dog, whatever.
A stuffed dog.
Yes.
He wasn't stuffed for very long because somehow or other he got re-injected with the stuff and got reanimated and became a live puppy dog.
Yeah, which makes me beg the question whether or not Mrs. Gallagher was aware of her husband's experiments.
I got a funny feeling she was.
I think she
but
was.
she was playing pure, sweet and innocent.
I think so. She did play the sweet and innocent really well in this movie.
I reckon honestly, the hidden story behind it is she was working with the husband to kill these people off, but was making out that she wasn't part of it, so she could sort of help manipulate them and get them into situations where they felt comfortable, and then he'd come along and kill them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or his puppets would.
I mean, all the time we had no show of her.
Because she could have been the one who
movies.
reanimated him.
Yeah, that could have been it.
Interesting.
It's an interesting thought.
Yes. I was thinking about it afterwards. That makes sense.
Yes,
Anyway.
true. So, anyway, so I won't go into the other stories. As I said before, each one has a standalone sequels and prequels to this movie.
We will mention a couple of different things. There's one there, I don't know which one it's called, where he's being chased by the Nazis and they want to use his skills to use it to
it's called,
make an indestructible army.
This was called Puppet Master 3, Tulong's Revenge.
Yeah.
As I said before, they gave these Puppet Master movies numbers, but they didn't exactly put them in.
And they didn't actually say when they were. They jumped all over. Some were prequels, some were sequels, and some were side stories. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's left up to the viewers to work out where to go.
But there was one we saw, the retro one where he's young.
Yeah, when he was a younger man.
When he first met this Egyptian guy who gave him the magic powers to reanimate his puppets and transfer life into them
using
and stuff.
special magic sorcery.
Yeah, we might review that one because that's a good movie.
Yeah, that one's a good one. It has the older Trulong. They replaced the actor from the first Puppet Master movie with another actor. What's his name? His name's Guy.
Where is it? Come on, put your finger up. Guy Rolfe. He plays a Puppet Master in some of the other movies.
Yeah, he's played in. He's been doing this for several of those movies.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah. He got in,
and then he died in year 2003. So
he won't be doing. They could have reanimated him. Sorry. Never mind.
But I gotta admit, I do like the actor who played the Puppet Master guy.
Which one? Him?
Guy, yeah. He did an awesome job, and I thought he played it really cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked his the way his character is formed in this movie.
He got one of those sort of personalities.
Yeah.
You know, like the guy who plays Saw? That Tobin fella? I can't remember his first name. What's his first name?
Tobin Bell.
Tobin Bell, yeah. Tobin Bell's got a personality in the way he talks, and this other guy, Guy Rolfe, has not the same, but a similar thing about his personality. There's got something about him. It's not like, oh, there's an actor. You got some sort of something coming out of the actor, an essence or something or other, and it makes it part believable. And they're two good actors, yeah.
Agreed. Anyway, of course, as I said before, in retro Puppet Master, we then flash back to a younger version of himself. I don't know his name, but he's rather good looking, I think.
That does help. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, well, ladies.
Yeah. Another thing in this movie, it mentions how he had a love interest named Elsa Trulong.
I believe so, yeah.
And how she becomes one of the puppets called Leech Woman.
Yeah.
And she kind of helps Trulong and in her revenge against the Nazis killed.
She got killed by the Nazis, and he helped get revenge using her and some of the other puppets.
Yeah.
To get revenge on the Nazis, which is good. Hey, just like Indiana Jones. Hey.
Quite right.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Anyway, here's some other Puppet Master movies I like in this franchise. The first one, of course, the retro Puppet Master that was done in 1999, and Puppet Master 3, Trulong's Revenge, which was done in 1991. Puppet Master 4, The Demon, that was done in 1993. And let me see, the Puppet Master 5, The Final Chapter, that was done in 1994. And then there's the spin-off, I think, called Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, that was done in year 2004.
That was a spin-off, yeah.
That's pretty much my favourite ones I like at the moment. There is also that one where it takes place just before just around the 1930s, when Trulong got shot, his prodigy back then took over and looked after the puppets back then.
Oh, he adopted them. Nice.
And they became his servants to him, obviously.
They wash and iron and cook meals.
Haha, funny.
No, okay, what is this asking?
Yeah, another thing about full moon features, they also created a number of other, animated, movies too.
Okay, yeah.
One is called Demonic Toys, which kind of fits into this.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about copyright rights here. And there's the Gingerbread Man. And
Okay.
so they,
Hey, we bought a couple of those today for kiddies, didn't we?
yes, we did just before Christmas.
Yeah. I got 2 grandkiddies.
Yeah, so those are 2 franchise ones and all that stuff.
Yeah. Actually, thinking about puppets and stuff, you think about it.
Okay.
There was an old movie, and I just can't remember. I don't know if it's called The Puppet Master or something or other, or The Revenge of the Puppet People or something or other, done back in the 40s, I think. An old black and white movie. And that was this guy who shrank these people down to puppet size, and then he stored them in these cylinders and whatever, for a bit of sort of a chloroform or something or other, let them out occasionally. So that was one. And there's a movie called Dolls, I believe. So a movie done a couple of years ago called Dolls. And what was that, a horror movie you saw where that lady was a ventriloquist lady? Dead Silence or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Dead Silence. There's another one of puppets, all these were ventriloquist dolls, but there's something about puppets and and the scariest part is ventriloquist dolls. They've got evil faces. It reminds you of Annabelle, the doll, creepy.
I mean, in Puppet Master, you know that some of them, they're a little bit more, less harmful. I mean, when you look at the ones we have now, the Annabelle and all those other dolls, so you can tell right away that they're very dangerous.
Annabelle is horribly evil. The real one. I mean, the real Annabelle doll.
I mean, if you look at the real one in real life, it's just an ordinary doll, you may see.
Yeah, Raggedy Ann doll.
Raggedy Ann doll. But they've made it look a bit more scarier. Even though I would like it better if they used the regular Raggedy Ann doll, because that would make it a little bit more suspicious not suspicious, just not so harmful or creepy, but leaves the audience wondering, ooh, is this doll dangerous or something? Keeps you guessing.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, I'm just only spitballing, but I just like it better.
Spitballing?
But I do like it if they make it look more or less harmless.
Well, that's the whole point. If it looked really harmless.
A little bit more harmless would be good.
Yeah, looking harmless, but really being deadly is really good.
True. But
like arsenic. Looks so innocent in the box.
Yeah, it's just like when you look at Chucky from...
he looks horrible.
Like Child's Play. I mean, when he's smiling, you know that there's nothing behind that smile. But then you see him in another mood, you find him as a dangerous, demonic creature.
Yeah, so there's something about dolls, and because they're almost human, but not quite. Yeah, and it does scare you a little bit. Actually, that one we saw, I think it was in Tales from the Crypt or something or other. There was a short story where some Afro-American slaves...
you mean Tales from the Hood?
Tales from the Hood, that's right, Tales from the Hood. Yeah, and these spirits of these murdered Afro-American people were somehow placed in this doll by this Afro-American lady, and they got revenge on this white guy who was a really nasty piece, and they all killed him. So there's something about them that doll can't hurt anybody. Bull. Yeah, right.
That'd be nasty. Anyway, as I was now I bring myself to talk about the 2018 version of Puppet Master, the remake of it that was done by Fangor, the magazine.
Oh yeah, Fangor, yeah.
Yeah, they made their own version, and
is that the one we saw the other day?
Yeah, it was.
Bits of it?
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with the story myself because that I just didn't. I mean, I just thought that it was too many. It was too much gore and not enough story.
Yeah, and that's where you lose the mix a bit. I
Yeah.
mean, look again. If you haven't seen the other movies, you wouldn't care. But if you see the original movies, you see the storyline, the suspense, the whatever, and then you bring in the horror and a few deaths here and there. But and watching these puppets go through their their antics, and then you come along here and you see it's almost like a blood fest. You go,
Yeah, it was
just,
practically a bloodbath in that
yeah,
in that
it's
remake.
too much. I mean, too little storyline and too much gore. Look, I'm not against gore. Don't get me wrong. I mean, look at Hellraiser. Yeah, it's really good. Blood, 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 blood. Love it. I throw up. Watch that one night. And so I don't mind if it's appropriate, but if there's no storyline, it's you need to develop a storyline.
Yeah, and
maybe.
the ending was very flat with me.
Yeah, the guy just walked off, the monster guy thing.
Yeah, the monster was not defeated or anything like that, and our good guy is there shaken by the whole event.
Holding his dead girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a few months later, he writes a comic book about it.
Yeah, and that's it. That's pretty dead ending. Yeah, so we don't. I mean, we might review that one later. We may not because it's not our favourite movie, but we might do it as a comparison.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we don't know. We might bypass that one.
We might even bite the bullet and review it, maybe.
And we'll pick it apart in the nicest possible way. We say lovely costumes, whatever, and set design for good, good camera work.
Yeah.
And whatever,
Yeah.
and
One
then
of the
they'll
other
pick the rest of the part.
Yeah, one of the other ones I was watching today was the let me see, it was the Puppet Master, the Demon one, and the Final Chapter one, which was pretty cool. That one deals with a young guy who's dealing with robotics.
That's
and,
the one, yeah.
And in that one,
we think it's the same motel as the that other one, isn't it?
He was in the same motel, so it's sort of like another sequel hinting that this is the same hotel. No doubt the puppets are still roaming around.
Are they paying rent?
Funny. Anyway.
What?
Funny. So anyway, and these it brings up the fact that Trulong stole the elixir to bring the puppets to life from evil Egyptian demons from hell or something.
Yeah, whatever.
And they want to take revenge on people who might be trying their so hard to get objects reanimated.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the only people who have that power should only go to the people who have the highest job roster. Well,
I don't know where you're going with that, but we'll leave that alone. Okay.
Well, God roster.
Okay.
Anyway.
Megalomaniacs. I mean,
Yes.
Hitler was one of those. He could have used that for the master race.
Funny. So anyway, in that one, our hero in that turns out to be sort of chosen by the puppet master to continue protecting the puppets and stuff like that. Sort of make him like a chosen one to continue his work.
Chosen one.
To continue looking after the puppets in his absence.
I.W. Sir Laugh a Lot. No, sorry, whatever. No?
Anyway, I did think it was really cool, especially down to the bits where they fight the demons and the heroes win and stuff like that. In the sequel to that one, which is the final chapter, which I imagine was going to be the final chapter for this whole franchise, but then they went back and made some more.
Yeah.
Yes. And that one,
Exactly.
our hero gets accused of murder, but there's no case against him, so he ends up going home, and then
Feed the cat.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then hell starts all over again.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah, and I feel like this was a good continuation for that one. And then of course, they did bring up Puppet Master Legacy, and I'm not sure about this one because that one refers back to all the franchise. I mean, every single movie, and that one didn't really click well because it had too many arguments.
Was it?
Yeah, too many arguments whether Trulon was evil or a good guy. A lot of questions, but
I reckon Trulon was a very good man, put in bad situations where he had to work outside the law, like a vigilante, maybe. How's that?
Yeah.
That's that.
Another, and of course, if you've seen the second Puppet Master movie to the first one, that's a standalone one, obviously. In that one, it indicates that that the Puppet Master was out to secure immortality for himself and to his love interest, or whatever.
Yeah, lovely.
Somehow the puppets reanimate him in his grave and brought him back, and then he wanted to go after the girl that resembles his ex-love interest.
Oh, nice.
Of course, that
true love never dies, hey.
And of course, the puppets didn't like it that they were being pawns in his plan, if that's the word.
Well, pawns, they're like little dolls. Yeah, that's okay, whatever.
Pawns or pawns, whatever.
Pawns, yeah.
Pawns.
Yeah, like a chess game, yes.
Exactly.
Anyway,
that story didn't. That ending didn't go so well because it kind of the ending hints that the puppets went on tour with another character in the story, and we lost track of that character after that. Because that's when they decided to make the prequels and try to fix up the story here and there.
Okay.
And of course, another Puppet Master one, which is called the Puppet Master Curse, I think. I'm not sure. What's it called again?
I don't know. I've got a list of them. You've got a list of them.
Well, I didn't have all of them.
I didn't write down a list of all the other movies.
Anyway,
you did.
There was one where it hints another puppet master is going out of his way to try to create what Trulong did many years ago by trying to place a person's soul into a puppet. It didn't work out because in the end it left you the ending in a bit of a twist ending, and it didn't really work for me really well. Mm-hmm. Kept me guessing throughout.
Yeah, well.
And that was like sort of a standalone episode to that one. As I said before, guys...
Standalones are okay, just the spin-off stories. Yeah.
As I said before, guys, this franchise goes sort of backs and forth between sequel and prequel. And it leaves you wondering which one's the true story and which one's the believable story.
They're all good fun anyway.
All good fun. As I said before, I usually just pick out my favourite ones to watch to get the story across.
There you go. Yay.
Yay.
Now, getting back on this movie.
All right.
Home media. This actually went straight to video. Well, the videotape, VHS, didn't go through the theatres.
Dang.
No, it didn't go. No, because they thought make more money doing a direct-to-video release. So anyway, that was released on VHS back in the olden days. For you kiddies, you young people, they were these big lumpy things, you know.
You got to admit though, when they do put them on directly to video, you don't know whether or not to buy them or get them.
But the point is, how long? I don't know how much it costs to go to the theatre in every other country in the world, but if you can get, let's say a family of 4 go to the theatre and spend something like $10 a ticket, there's $40, plus munchies, another $30 maybe, it's $70, and you can buy the video for $20 and then watch it at home.
I guess. But you got to admit though, you can't really, once you buy the video, you can't, and if it's not good.
Or you can hire it. Do you remember the hire shops?
I know, hire or buy or whatever. But what if you end up wasting your day watching it?
But the point is, if you go to the picture show, you wasted $70, and if you stay home and you buy a copy of it, you only wasted about $20 or $25.
I know, but then you have to return it.
Well, you can do that. So I bought it, it was faulty, can I have my money back, please? Anyway, irrespective. So, yeah, went straight there. Obviously, but the home market's quite good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
anyway,
I read somewhere that the new Puppet Master movie, it did break the box office. Well, not box office. It was the sales office for buyers who
Which
bought
was it?
this
Which
one, the current one that
Oh,
just
the
came
new
out,
one,
the
the new
new
one, yeah.
2018. That one came out and it received lots of
Did that
money.
go to theatre or straight to...
Straight to
DVD?
video
Or
well,
DVD, DVD or whatever,
considering that
streaming or whatever, yeah.
we're all DVD people, well, some of us.
Well, I'm not. No, I'm totally digital.
Me too. So anyway, it went directly to DVD and video. I mean, DVD anyway.
That's the video. That's old technology.
Anyway, and of course, people probably bought it or hired it,
So
depending.
you can hire it for a couple of dollars. Yeah, it's like $2 or $3 where you work. I don't know what it costs nowadays. Yeah, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's only a couple bucks.
Yeah, when it came out, I was a little. When I watched it, I was a little bit not sure about the story or the plot or stuff like that.
Fair
I mean, I wish that they could have left it alone, to be honest. But I guess Fangoro wanted to do something.
Well, I wonder. It's sort of like Rob Zombie did some Halloween movies and stuff. There's some people want to have a go, you know, and that Psycho fan film and stuff. Yeah, we didn't like it, but some people did. You know, yeah, people give it a go. It sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, irrespective.
Irrespective. Do you want to what?
I was going to talk about reception because it's very interesting about the critics and stuff.
Okay, go on. Let's go hear the
Rotten Tomatoes are about half. Something like what was it? About 50%. So it's sort of on the fence. Yeah, not good, bad, in the middle. A crowd called TV Guide gave it a negative review, saying a pointless variation on the killer doll genre.
No, brother.
Well, it's okay. I'm just saying. Now, Dread Central, they said pretty much some parts of it were lame, but overall it wasn't too bad. Okay, but Wes from thehorror.com gave the film a positive review.
That's nice to hear.
Despite its flaws, Puppet Master emerged as one of the more enjoyable of the killer toy type horror films.
Cool.
And we believe that's pretty similar to what we feel. I mean, crikey, I mean, the hard part of movies nowadays, a lot of it's been done. And you've got to look at possibly a new thing, a new idea, but it's like an old thing which already been done. It's like, I mean, you've done puppets. That, like the Revenge of Puppet Puppet People, or whatever it's called, that one years ago. You've had the Dolls one, you had something else. All these movies, if you get an idea, you've got to try and make it new and fresh. And that's the hard part sometimes.
Yeah, it just meant that when you look at Puppet Master, I said before in the past, that the puppets, some of the puppets, they look cute and friendly looking. While today's dolls and puppets, they make them either too creepy, and you don't even. And
so who would buy them?
And who would buy them?
Yeah,
I
who'd like
wouldn't.
it?
Yeah, if you're a kid, per se, would
doll
you,
in your room, you have
would your kid
nightmares,
want to have one of those dolls in your room?
I want a Freddy Krueger doll, Mummy.
Yeah, well, you know, it's so you know it.
Oh, Michael Myers doll.
Yeah.
He looks like William Shatner. No, well, he does got a William Shatner mask on. Someone said.
Yeah, you got to admit that the more carefree or innocent the doll looks, the more likely it may be
and
the
that's
best
where
idea.
you get the mystery and suspense and other things could go. Oh, what a cute little innocent doll! Isn't that lovely? And my little daughter's with it, playing with it all the time. And the doll wakes up at night and kills the parents. Great, you know, innocent little doll laying there next to Kitty with a butcher's knife in his hand or something or other. Very nice.
Or something like that.
Anyway, just getting on to something here. It is available through Amazon. I think both you can buy it and rent it. Is it through Prime, Amazon Prime or something?
Yeah, maybe Amazon.
I think it is, yeah. Whatever. You can get it through Amazon and eBay. So it's still around. You can still get it. It's worth a look.
Yeah,
I haven't checked about the other issues of the franchise, but this one's definitely available in Blu-ray and ordinary, I believe.
Yeah, and when it gets close to Christmas time, we might be looking at Puppet Master versus
Demonic dolls.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that one deals with
Christmas time.
a Christmas theme to
Yay.
it. So it will be a good time to start brushing ourselves up for reviewing on that
Well,
one.
Black Christmas.
Yes, exactly. So.
What?
And it
That
has
sounded
a
good, didn't
and
it?
you,
Scared
it,
myself.
yeah, and it does have a bit of a comedy theme in it. But then again,
Well, a bit of
most
comedy relieves the tension a bit and gets ready for the next jump scare. Well, you got to know that.
I know, we've discussed that.
Yeah, it's like all the slasher movies, the Crystal Lake and all. Yeah, there's always a little bit of comedy thrown in.
Oh, that reminds me. Didn't in this the in Fangor, didn't they mention Sleepaway Camp?
Yeah, Sleepaway Camp. Yeah,
Kind of a bit of a
And that was that movie that girl Angel or something was it?
Angela Baker.
Yeah, and she was in a Sleepaway Camp, which that was a good movie.
But normally you don't call Sleepaway Camp
They call
Sleepaway
it
Camp.
a sleepaway camp, and that's just a generic name for sleepaway camps, and that's the name of that movie, Sleepaway
I know,
Camp.
but usually
Yeah, so,
whenever I talk about camp, I just say, "Hey, I just came from camp." I don't just say call it Sleepaway Camp. I just say camp.
Well, you don't stay awake for 4 weeks, do you? No, not 2 weeks or whatever it is. Yeah, no.
Whatever. Anyway, I don't usually call it Sleepaway Camp, as far as I know.
Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd like Americans to know, but we don't have to do that sort of stuff over here, so.
Yeah, unless the
Anyway.
Fangora has been weren't really good with their script writing.
I don't knock them. I mean, they did the best of what they could, and whatever. And they threw like a sleepaway camp. Well, what is that, Crystal Lake?
Next thing you know was it Friday? I mean, was it Jason Voorhees who gave them the puppet?
Well, that's not a point. Hey, he could.
Tensional
What happens
units.
if he became the puppet master? Now that'd be interesting.
Yeah, tensional units watch for a man with white mask and carrying an interesting creepy puppet.
Yeah, it looks just as creepy as
Proceed with caution.
Yeah. The puppet's really dangerous. Not real sure about the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to review it now? I mean,
yeah.
rate it now.
Rate it now.
Because I don't want to end up saying something I won't
No,
finish.
I'm just going to think.
Nasty.
I like the story. I like the puppets. They're really good. It's cute. It's funny. A little bit of horror. Nice balance. Good direction. Yeah, I'll give it a 9. 9. Yeah.
Yeah, as I'll probably give both the puppets, the design, and not mentioning the 2018 one.
No, forget that. We're talking
Forgetting
about
that
this movie
one.
here. Okay?
Well, I'm gonna give the entire franchise.
Higher franchise.
Yeah, except for the 2000
franchise.
and except for the year 2018 one.
Well, I'm only rating the movie.
I'm
because,
gonna be like I kind of rated 10 out of 10 for the entire 11
Okay.
movies,
Okay, well, that's fair. 10 out of 10 for the whole franchise.
except for the 2018 one.
Except for the last movie, yeah, okay. Or whatever. Well, the one you don't like, yeah.
It's nothing personal, guys. It's just that one doesn't have any connection to this franchise.
Okay, that's fair enough. But anyway, still, okay, I did the movie, you did the franchise, but still, I think the franchise is good. If I was going to vote the franchise, it's a good, sustainable franchise with fresh stories in each movie. So, in that case, if I was going to do a score evaluation for the franchise, yeah, I'll probably go about 9.5, probably to 10. Yeah.
Well, when you look at it, it doesn't matter whether you like which episodes you like, as long as you like the one or two of the movies.
What if it comes with a box set?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe.
it would be nice. Yeah, you get a bookshelf full of them. Yeah, right next to the store.
I gotta admit, it's confusing. I mean, I kind of put them in the order that they best suit when you look at this movie.
Actually,
I put the retro one way to the beginning, and the one that came out, the first one of the movies, is sort of halfway in the middle.
Well, it was actually like Star Wars. Because you start at 4, 5, and 6, then 1, 2, and 3, and I think the number 7 the side story which was done about where the rebels were getting those plans about the Death Star, or was that the next one?
That was
Awakens.
that was
That-
Rogue One that dealt with
Was that number 7 or number 8?
that was a spin-off.
Yeah, but that one there you have to slot that in there to next.
That was between just before New Hope.
Yeah, so that would have been technically number 7, and that one would have been playable.
No, that would have been technically a 4.
Well, no, 4 was the New Hope.
I know, but
But this one would have been about the same time, so it would have been had to be seen and reallocated to be watched that time to get the story continuing properly.
anyway, I never.
It gets very confusing.
As I often
doesn't it?
say in the past, I don't really connect those movies with the ones.
Well, that was
with
a
this
side
movie.
story.
I know, but there has been a lot of comics, book
Stuff.
novels,
Blah blah.
you know,
Well, you read them all.
and cartoons and spin-off stories here and there, and I try to focus on the original story as much as possible, and not concentrate on the comics, the books and stuff like that.
But
I
is it?
That's what I do most of the time. I don't really concentrate on the fan aspect to it.
Okay. By the way, as I always say, that's another story.
Haha.
Sorry.
So anyway, this is Sarah Stephenson, and this is
And
Mike
the other one,
Stephenson.
me, Martel.
So we'll see you guys for our next. We'll listen to you.
We'll be speaking
We'll
to you
speak to
again
you guys
shortly.
next time in our next podcast. All right.
Sounds
bye
like a
for
plan.
now. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.